This episode of the Corcoran Entertainment Show is brought to you by Black Box Prompter. Are you a musician tired of being tethered to your tablet or music stand? Do you long to connect with your audience on a deeper level, but find yourself constantly glancing down at your lyrics and chords? Then I highly recommend Black Box Prompter, the smart and stealthy lyrics and chords teleprompter designed to liberate musicians from the stage clutter. This innovative device is perfect for bands, hobbyists jamming out in the garage, touring pros rocking arenas, and even houses of worship looking to elevate their services. It discreetly displays your lyrics and chords, allowing you to maintain eye contact with your audience, adding an extra layer of authenticity and connection to your performance. Don't let distractions hold you back. Unleash your full potential and create a more powerful connection with your audience with Black Box Prompter. Click the link in our episode description and use the promo code Corcoran at checkout for 10% off your purchase. Black Box Prompter, the smart teleprompter built for musicians by musicians. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I am your host, Franky Corcoran, coming at you with episode 200 of the podcast. Crazy, guys. We made it to 200 episodes. So this is, as you can tell, of course, by the title, 200th episode Extravaganza. So first off, before we get into the show and all that stuff, I really just want to take a minute to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for listening to the podcast, for supporting the podcast, sharing the podcast, and all the amazing guests we've had, the amazing brands that we partnered with. It's insane just how this has gone, really. Crazy. Yeah, it really is. Like, I'm still kind of just trying to put into words how I didn't really think I would be here recording this now. It's funny. You start these things out, you don't expect them to. I mean, one thing I've kind of learned along the way, and this doesn't apply to just doing the podcast and stuff, but really just in general, you don't really know how life's going to go. There's lots of things in my life that have just kind of happened by, maybe not by happenstance, but it just kind of happened just through, not really anything that you think about. It's not something you plan. It just happens. You go with the flow and it blossoms into something. And this was kind of the same deal where, we're doing Corcoran Entertainment, where we're doing theater, but we're like, let's try to do something a little bit more. So it's not just theater because we want to make it more inclusive and stuff like that. So let's do a podcast. And next thing you know, it's gotten to this point now. It's where it's just absolutely incredible. And just really thank you to everybody who encouraged me, and to all the people who supported the podcast through the years. Just thank you for that. I don't really plan to stop it now. Yeah, this is a big announcement. We're done after episode 200. No, the podcast is not ending anytime soon, unless Spotify or Apple Podcasts comes to my knocking on my door and says you need to cease production immediately. But until that happens, I'm just going to keep on doing this. That's just something I want to say right off the bat. Just thank you guys for everyone who encouraged, listened, the incredible guests who we've had. We've had some amazing people over these past few years. That's really all I got to say without sounding like a broken record. Just I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, if you like these episodes, just be sure to give it a nice little thumbs up, 5-star rating, whatever it is you guys do to help, support the podcast even more and maybe get us to episode 500. We'll see how it goes. This week, what the plan is going to be, since it's episode 200, I was trying to schedule some people in. There were some scheduling conflicts and stuff like that. And between my schedule, other people's schedules, it was hard to get, you're doing a big milestone episode like this. You kind of want to get a bunch of people on. It was hard to get people on at the same time. So I just said what I'd do for this one is I'll just do it solo. I'm just going to host the podcast solo today. But what is going to happen is this Thursday. We have a guest this Thursday, and we're going to do the traditional Thursday episode, the traditional Tuesday episode where we do the guest and then two topics afterwards. And so yeah, that's how that's going to go. And then Tuesday, it's back to the same thing. And then we'll have the occasional Thursday bonus episode as well too. So, that seems to be going great, by the way, too. Just dropping the additional bonus episodes on Thursday. It's not something I commit to absolutely every week. I think I've done pretty good the last little while in doing 2 a week, but you don't want to advertise it as specifically, we are for sure doing 2 episodes a week. If it's one of those things where we have a lot of people and scheduling and all that stuff, then I'll consider it. But you'll definitely get at least the one Tuesday episode followed by a possible bonus interview that will be released on Thursday. So anyways, that's that. So let's talk about what do we have planned for the 200th episode Extravaganza today? Nothing too crazy. The first topic I want to talk about is AMC Theatres is now adding more trailers before their movies start. I want to give my thoughts on that. And this is a fun one here. Top 5 movies that are hated that I actually like. I thought this is something, I had it as a top 10, and then I said, no, I was just trying to think, because it was so hard to just narrow it down to 5. I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to get 10, like just trying to think of what movies out there are bad that everybody knows is bad that I actually do like. So, it's just my list. I'm sure there's lots of others that you guys have, and I'd love to hear everyone's opinions on that. So then after that, I'm going to release a throwback interview to episode 3. This was from January 2022, I believe it was, with Kieran Crocker. We talked about Better Call Saul, BoJack Horseman, all that stuff. It's just so nice. Every milestone episode 100, 150, I do a little throwback to some of the older episodes, just to kind of hear how the audio quality sounds, how I was as an interviewer. Maybe I haven't gotten better, maybe I haven't. So look forward to that at the end of the show. If you happen to see that the episode is longer than normal, that's why. It's just because of the throwback episode added a lot of time to it. So anyways, without further ado, guys, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the 200th episode Extravaganza. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show's 200th episode Extravaganza. I'm your host, Franky Corcoran. It's funny that I call it Extravaganza. It's not really anything extravagant. I make it seem like I'm going to have some sort of big guest, but it's just myself sitting here in my bedroom / office / recording studio. You can decide which of those 3 it actually is. So yeah, guys, this is it. Episode 200. And what I wanted to talk about, I had like a multitude of potential topic ideas on what I wanted to talk about for episode 100. But this one here boils my blood. And this movie theater isn't even my movie theater. My movie theater is Cineplex. And I'm sure a lot of you guys listening to, that's also your movie theater as well too. But as soon as I heard this is everything about the movie industry and the movie theaters nowadays that boils my blood so much. It's not really that big of a deal. It's not like it's something so life-threatening or anything like that. No. It's nothing like that. But the problem with this here is, okay, so first off, I just want to say, movie theaters, not that they've been like really struggling, but since COVID, it's been rather difficult, I guess you could say, to get people back to the movie theaters. I think within the last few years, we have, it's been great in terms of we've had lots of movies such as The Minecraft movie almost hitting $1 billion. We've had what do you call it? The Super Mario Brothers movie hit $1 billion. Deadpool Wolverine hit $1 billion. So we've had a lot of billion-dollar films, and it shows that the movie theaters are still alive and people still want to go and see them. But it hasn't really, the last few years, they are still struggling because we are living in a world with streaming, and there are people who will think that I might as well just wait for this movie to come out on streaming so I don't have to go pay $20 a ticket and all of this money for popcorn and this and that, because that adds up really, really quickly. Like, even just when I went to go see like the Minecraft movie, I think that was the last movie I saw, and it was just crazy just to look at. I even had it on a gift card. I had the goddamn tickets on a gift card, and I was still looking at it going, holy crap, it's just insane how much it is for popcorn and a ticket and a drink. Like, it's just insane. I'm not one of those guys to complain about prices. I'm just stating facts here. So yeah, movie theaters have been struggling, but the problem with this whole situation, is that the problem and the issues that movie theaters are facing, a lot of them is the trailers. There are too many fucking trailers before movie starts. That is the biggest, or one of the biggest problems. I shouldn't say it's the biggest problem, but it is a big problem. I know even for me, it was really, really annoying. I think it was the new Trailer Park Boys movie back in December. I still remember this. So got there a little early. I think it was like the movie started at 7:10 or 7:15, something like that. So I got there about 10 minutes early, watched the pre-show and stuff like that. And then after that, they have a couple advertisements, and then they have the trailers. I think they played about 6 trailers. I think I counted 6 trailers. I could be mistaken. This was back in December. I can't remember exactly. But there was a lot of goddamn trailers. I'm like, this is kind of ridiculous. So the advertised start time is 7:15, and then the movie probably didn't start till, I'd say, about close to 8 o'clock. I swear to God, I'm not even joking. I checked the time. It was like 7:45-ish or so, because they weren't just doing the trailers, but they were also doing a couple advertisements and stuff like that, which, listen, I am a big advertising person. Hell, I have ads on this podcast. That's how it is. Everywhere you go, there's going to be advertisements. I get that. I don't fault anybody for that. Where it becomes a problem is where, okay, the movie starts at 7:15. Okay, cool. There are going to be some trailers in there. So when you say 7:15, okay, maybe I'll show up at about 7:30-ish or so. Maybe there'll be one trailer left, this kind of thing. But the problem becomes, like, you shouldn't have to time it out that way. It should just be, put a time down that says when the movie starts, when the trailer, like, there should be something. There needs to be some sort of way to make the system better. I mean, maybe it's definitely a lot more complicated than that. I understand that, but it's just a. So yeah, I'm kind of just going off. I don't really have a script for this. Let me just go to the article that I'm talking about that kind of fueled this rant of mine, so to speak. AMC Theatres to run commercials ahead of movies along with trailers. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. AMC Theatres has agreed to show pre-movie advertising before features begin as part of a new deal with National Cinemedia, the Hollywood Reporter has confirmed. So, starting July 1st, AMC will run a platinum spot with pre-movie commercials along with traditional film trailers that play for its audiences. And AMC and NCM, the in-theater advertising company, will share revenues from the new pre-movie advertising window. So while AMC was initially reluctant to bring this to our theaters, our competitors have fully participated for more than 5 years without any direct impact to their attendance. This is a strong indication that this NCM pre-show initiative does not negatively influence movie-going habits. See, so the problem is, you're trying to get people to come back to the movie theaters. This is a big thing. I mean, I'm talking about this as if it's affecting my movie theater. It's not affecting it, but it kind of is to a certain extent, or it kind of already has to a certain extent, because it's happened so many times where it almost feels like sometimes, and I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist, I don't want to drive myself crazy over movie trailers or anything like that, but the problem is sometimes some of the trailers don't last as long. Some of them last just as long. I think it was, I went to go see Sonic the Hedgehog 3 a couple weeks later after I saw the Trailer Park Boys, where that trailer incident occurred. And then, so showed up, I think Sonic started, I'm just going to guess a time, about 6:30ish, I think, something like that, 6:30. And so I said, okay, we'll show up at 6:45. The trailer had just wrapped up. The trailer had literally, like the last trailer had just wrapped up. So I was like, that's interesting, because when I went to go see Trailer Park Boys, it was like almost like literally like 45 minutes. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So the problem that I have with it, the biggest problem I have, is you want to bring people back to the movie theaters and you want to keep the movie industry alive. This is only going to piss people off even more. This is only going to drive people further away, and it's going to make them more so in the mindset of, I'm just going to wait until this comes out on streaming. I don't want to have to sit through, because you're paying, this is the thing, you're paying for that seat in the movie theater to watch this movie. That's the problem. That is probably the biggest problem about this, is because this is your time that you're paying money to see a movie that they are deciding to hold back. And, now it's not the movie theater staff's fault. It's one of those things. Maybe, am I over exaggerating? Maybe I am. I probably am. I tend to do that a lot sometimes, but it's just something that I just think had to be addressed. I think this really had to be addressed, and that it's just ridiculous that they think that now here's the thing. Trailers, I'm going off, I don't have a script here. Trailers help the movie theaters. Advertising, any sort of whoever it is, a TV broadcaster, a podcaster, a radio show host, they're paying they're playing these advertisements as some extra revenue. You know what I mean? That's how they're making their money too. They make their, like, radio show hosts make their money off the ads. They got lots of advertisers and stuff like that, and that's where a lot of their money comes in. It's a big part of it. I'm not sure the specifics about it. I don't want to say anything because it might be wrong, and I don't want to be misquoted or anything. But I understand the business side of things. I 100% do. I just think there has to come to a point where the movie theaters or AMC needs to put their foot down or something and just say, look, we want people to keep coming to the movie theaters. If we keep doing this, people are just going to be more and more pissed off. But I guess AMC has this worse than Cineplex does. Like, even before the Stews came out, they were already playing like 20 minutes of trailers. And now they're adding more. So just to me, I just find it kind of stupid, really, because they want to get people to come back to the theater. And what this is doing is, this is inadvertently driving people away from the theater, driving people away from a business that they're trying so hard to keep on its feet and to make it stay alive. And all these decisions that they're making, it's just, it's killing it. It really, really is. So hopefully they come to realize that. Hopefully, I hope the fuck Cineplex doesn't do this, because that's the last thing I need is if this does happen in Cineplex, you can bet your ass there will be a huge rant on the podcast about it. I don't like going off on rants and stuff like that. I don't want to sound angry and bitter, but it's so true, because it kind of drives me up a wall when I see businesses making decisions that it's like the definition of insanity, really. They do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Except in this case, they're not just doing the same thing. They're doing more of the same thing, expecting a different result, and it's not working. It's like you just got to know when to cut your losses, and there's a lot of things behind the scenes with deals and contracts, negotiations, and stuff like that. I 100% get that. But I just think sooner or later, they just got to take a step back and just say, this is hurting our business. This is hurting the audience. It's funny how I'm saying this, like it's some sort of like chemical or something like that that's being... I'm saying it like it's like they're like poisoning the guests. No, it's not that severe. But it's just... the audience will just kind of come to terms with it. They're like, why would I go out and pay to go see this movie, pay this much for a ticket, and pay this much for food and stuff like that when I could just watch it at home when it comes out in streaming in like a month or so? Because that's what it is now. It's like, I'll just wait a month. Streaming is so quick now. The Minecraft movie is already out on streaming now. And it just came out in April, something like that. So yeah, like, it would be almost the equivalent of, let's say there's a business or like a restaurant that is selling pizza. It's a pizza restaurant. But the pizza is insanely similar, maybe even the same recipe as like the Delissio pizza. It's just like it tastes exactly the same, almost as if they just bought it from Sobeys, heated it up, and served it to the people who are coming to the restaurant. But the thing is, they're charging more for theirs at the restaurant than they would at Sobeys. So you kind of have to think to yourself, would I spend this much money, X amount of dollars, buying it from this restaurant, or would I buy it from Sobeys at a much cheaper price, and it's the same thing? Nowadays, especially now that I'm growing up and stuff like that, and I'm trying to be financially responsible and responsible in general, you have to look at these things with money, and it's the unfortunate reality now of you just gotta save as much money as you can. That's just the reality of it. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the whole situation. I just think they need to be careful. If this is something they're trying to get the movie theaters or save the business and stuff like that and get more people to come out, they need to take stock of what's working, what isn't, what don't people like, what don't people like. I just think they need to take that into consideration, and it just seems to me that AMC Theatres isn't. Which I get, it's a business. They got to do what they got to do. There's probably got a lot more to the story than I'm told in this Hollywood Reporter article. But definitely, guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is a good idea? Is this going to save the movie theaters? Is it going to kill the movie theaters? Definitely be sure to let me know what you think. The Corkin Entertainment Show is brought to you by Podmatch, the ultimate platform designed to connect podcast hosts with prospective guests effortlessly. Are you a podcaster looking to elevate your show to new heights? Or perhaps you're a guest hoping to share your story with a broader audience. Whatever your podcasting goals are, we have the perfect solution for you. Podmatch simplifies the entire process of discovering guests for your show or finding podcasts to feature your expertise. Now imagine a platform where you can easily match with like-minded creators tailored specifically to your niche. With Podmatch, you can effortlessly network with influencers and thought leaders, all while staying true to your podcast vision. There are a multitude of ways that Podmatch can help you grow your brand. You can be part of a thriving community of podcasters and potential guests. Engage, collaborate, and grow together. If you're ready to experience these fantastic benefits for yourself, we invite you to join Podmatch today. Head over to www.joinpodmatch.com/Corkin Entertainment and sign up right now for only $6 a month. That's right, you heard me right, $6 a month. Join the Podmatch family today and watch your podcast soar to new altitudes. Thank you for tuning into the Corkin Entertainment Show, and happy podcasting. And, sorry about that. I just had to go get a bottle of water. So moving on to our last discussion topic today is going to be one that I thought about doing for a long time and just never, it's a really, really tough list to make. So basically what I wanted to talk about was my list of movies that people don't like, but I actually do like a lot. Because I mean, there is a lot of them. There is a lot of movies that are very subjective, very divisive, and speaking of art is subjective. Art is very subjective, and that's the best part because it opens up more interesting conversations. That way, we're not just kissing a certain filmmaker's ass over every single thing he makes. Every movie in every franchise, every TV show has its bad episode that some people will love, some people won't. So I kind of just went through a lot of movies that I've seen, and there's a shitload of them. I've seen lots of movies. And I just wanted to just give my thoughts on ones that people didn't really like, but I really, really like. So just wanted to say, so there's 5 on here. There's lots more. And I know some people might hear it and go, geez, that's it. Well, there is a lot of them. There's a lot of them because I even had to look and see like what's the general consensus on this movie, and to just kind of get a sense, is this worth talking about, whatever. So starting at number 5, I'm going to start from 5 and count down to number 1. Number 5 is going to be The Hangover Part 2. Now, at first, I really didn't like The Hangover 2. Just because it was a complete rehash of the first one. The first one, I think, is one of the best comedies ever made or that ever will be made. Just absolutely fantastic. The second one had potential, but the problem is that they went the Home Alone 2 route where they basically just did a rehash of the whole first movie, except it was just a different setting. The plot points were all the same, blah, blah, blah. So for a long time I hated it, but I went and rewatched it on Netflix. I think it was this past year, a while back, and I realized, I said, it's actually a good movie. It is a good movie. Is it perfect? No, it is not perfect, but I actually kind of have grown to like The Hangover 2. It's nowhere near as good as the first one. It's nowhere near as good as the third one. The third one is better than the second one. The third one is a bit more divisive, but I think we're all kind of in the agreement of at least it wasn't a complete rehash of the first one like the second one was. The third one was actually great, and I think a lot of people are pretty much on the same fence about or the same page about it. But The Hangover 2, I think a lot of people generally did not like it at all, just because it felt like just as I said, the Home Alone and Home Alone 2 route, where it just basically did the exact same movie, except it was just a different setting and stuff like that. So I'm going to put The Hangover 2 as number 5, because when I watch it, there are still parts that make you laugh. The characters are very lovable. And they're very well acted, and it's funny. It has its moments, but I want to put that at number 5 because I actually do like the movie. Now that I've had some time to watch it again, think it through, I think The Hangover 2 is a really good movie. Number 4 is going to be Daddy's Home. I love the Daddy's Home movies. That's of course the Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg movies. I'll be honest, yeah, this is one where I did not understand the critics. The critics were just saying it's not funny, it's not this and that. I don't know, man. Daddy's Home, I thought was hilarious. I thought it was a really funny movie. That's one, yeah, I just genuinely didn't really... I mean, it's definitely not like a hard R movie or anything like that. It's more, I think it's like PG-13. I mean, yes, there are some adult references and stuff like that, but at least they weren't trying to go the route of it's an R-rated movie. We're just gonna say fuck every 2 seconds and everybody will laugh. So yeah, Daddy's Home. I really like Daddy's Home. I really, really did like Daddy's Home a lot. So yeah, for me, I mean, do I understand why critics don't like it? I guess. not just critics, but audiences. I can kind of see if they think it's kind of stupid or whatever. But I don't know. To me, I just think it's a hilarious movie. The second one's not as good, but it's still it was still very funny and entertaining. And although I know that there's been whispers of Daddy's Home 3, I think it's done now. It's kind of played out. I just think the shtick would feel kind of old if they tried to go back to it. So I think the first two Daddy's Home movie or Daddy's movie. No, I can't talk. The two Daddy's Home movies are great on their own, but the first one for me is superior to the second one. So that's number 4. Number 3 is another comedy. This is the last comedy on the list. I know people are saying, "My God, are these all comedy?" No, there's this is the third. Number 3 is going to be A Million Ways to Die in the West. I don't give a shit what anybody says. This movie is fucking hilarious. This movie is so funny. Yeah, honest to God, this was one of those movies where everybody was saying this movie is horrible, and I'm like, really? I really like A Million Ways to Die in the West. I mean, one of the things that one of the big critiques that I can kind of get behind is Seth MacFarlane's performance. I don't think he's a bad actor. I think with Seth MacFarlane, a lot of his problems with acting is he feels almost as if he's doing a sketch show or he's doing a theater show where it's almost a bit more I think that was the problem I had with Seth MacFarlane's performance. And aside from that, people said he was terrible. I didn't think he was terrible. I thought he was great. I think he had to work on his, the whole feeling like it's sketch show kind of thing. I think that kind of took me out a bit. But aside from that, I thought he was a great lead in this movie. Liam Neeson was a terrific villain. Charlize Theron, Amanda Seyfried, Neil Patrick Harris was funny as hell in it. Giovanni Ribisi, Sarah Silverman. It was a great cast, and it was like, I love Western and those settings and stuff like that. I love Red Dead Redemption, the video game. So yeah, Million Ways to Die in the West was just, it was like a Family Guy episode in the desert, and it was fun. It was just really, really fun. I really liked A Million Ways to Die in the West, and I don't think it deserves the hate that it gets. It's got like a lot of people saying it's the worst movie ever made, but no, it's not. It bombed, unfortunately, and that was kind of, what shook Seth MacFarlane's filmmaking career. I hope he gets back to it. I really do. I mean, I know we're getting the TED TV show and stuff like that, and we're also getting the TED animated TV show, which, it is all great, but I'd love to see him take another crack at another live-action comedy. I think it'd be a lot of fun. So number 3 is going to be A Million Ways to Die in the West. Oh, there, that feels good. Sorry. It's really hot. It's like 31 here today, 31 degrees. So number 2, we're in the top 2 now. Number 2 is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. So for me, Pirates of the Caribbean it's got a special place in my heart. The whole franchise is just, I absolutely love the franchise. I grew up with the franchise. The trilogy, I think, is one of the best trilogies, like one of my favorite trilogies ever. Even though the third one had a little bit of, I had some problems with the third one. But overall, I think the Pirates series is fantastic. Lots of ups and downs, maybe, but overall, it's still one of my favorites. And Johnny Depp, hopefully we'll see him again. I don't think we ever will. But so Pirates of the Caribbean 4 on Stranger Tides. I will actually never forget when this was announced, because it was like my most anticipated movie at one point when I was a kid, and it was just, is it the best Pirates movie? No, it's not. It's not the best Pirates movie. It does have a couple things that are wrong with this, or like maybe not a couple. There are some things wrong with it, but I still think it's a great movie. And I really don't understand what people mean by the whole thing with Johnny Depp can't lead a Pirates movie by himself, and that's why it was better with Orlando Bloom. So no, it was great, man. He was a fantastic lead in this movie, because of course the first 3 he was kind of like co-leading it with Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley, Will, and Elizabeth Turner. But so this was kind of like his first one, like solo leading the movie, and then he was backed up, of course, by Jeffrey Rush, who is probably the best part of the Pirates movies as Barbossa, and Ian McShane was in it and everything. I didn't like the mermaid love story. What's the guy's name who was in Blackbeard's crew who falls in love with that mermaid? I just think that one felt really forced and didn't really go anywhere either. Like, it didn't really have an overall impact on the story. So that part for me, I said, yeah, you could have just cut that. It was just so obvious because Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley didn't come back. They're like, we need some sort of love story. Let's just hook these two new characters up and the audience will feel the same way as we did with Will and Elizabeth. We're not going to do that. But overall, I think On Stranger Tides is, it gets way too much hate. It is everything you want in a Pirates movie. Like, not just Pirates of the Caribbean, but just a pirate movie in general. It was just so much fun. And, yeah, man, it's great. It really, really is good. Has its problems, yes, but I think it's one of those movies that gets a little bit too much hate. And so that's why it's number 2 for me. And number 1 is one, I remember seeing this movie in theaters in 2nd grade. I went in 2nd grade. I will never forget it. And it's so funny to look back on it nowadays. And it's like, the Spider-Man 3. Yep. After sitting on it and thinking about it, is it a bad movie? It's not really a bad movie. Does it have its problems? Yes, it does. But when you really think about the Tobey Maguire series, I mean, obviously we got the first one, which was great. The second one, which was hands down the best Tobey Maguire one and one of the best Spider-Man movies, period. I don't know, man. Like, it's just Spider-Man 3. It had a great ending too. Like, it was. I know that they were planning on doing Spider-Man 4 before it ended up getting canceled, and thankfully we did see Tobey Maguire pop up again in Spider-Man No Way Home. But I don't know, man. It was the perfect way to end that off, and yeah, it was just now the Bully Maguire, the Peter going emo and stuff like that. Yes, that was kind of cringy, but it is what it is. It didn't take the whole movie down. They were able to tie things up. They crammed way too many villains in it. Yes, but overall, when you really look at it, does the bad really outweigh the good? I don't really know if it does. So I have to say Spider-Man 3 is probably the number 1 movie that a lot of people hate, but I actually do like. And I think over time, people have kind of warmed up to it as well, too. As I said, I saw it in grade 2, and back then I thought it was the greatest thing I ever seen, and then I grew up, and I'm like, what the fuck? But, yeah, Spider-Man 3, we hated on it for years, but I think what also helped it, too, was that we got some closure with Tobey Maguire in No Way Home. Just seeing him pop up in No Way Home again, we kind of got a sense of what that Peter Parker is doing now and how he is and everything. So I think that kind of gave us a nice sense of, okay, we kind of saw where he was going, even though Spider-Man 3 did end very nicely. We still were excited for Spider-Man 4, and then it got canceled, and then it was like, oh shit, we were so excited. So No Way Home was really what we needed to just kind of fill that void, I guess you could say. Will we see Spider-Man 4 again with Tobey Maguire? I don't think so. I think it'd be great. I'm not opposed to it. It's just I just think that ship has sailed now. I hope I'm proven wrong. If I'm proven wrong, then, awesome. I want to be proven wrong in this case, but I just don't think it's going to happen. But Spider-Man 3, yeah, that's my number 1 film that I like, but a lot of people hate. I'll go through the list again. Number 5, The Hangover Part 2. Number 4, Daddy's Home. Number 3, A Million Ways to Die in the West. Number 2, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. And number 1, Spider-Man 3. So, that is going to do it. So, guys, be sure to let me know your thoughts. What movies do you love, but everybody else hates? Definitely be sure. I'd love to hear everyone's opinions on that. And so, yeah, guys, that is going to do it for my side of things. Present Franky for episode 200. Just thank you again guys, for listening to the podcast for all these years, and just supporting and just everything that you guys have done, encourage me, all that stuff. All our amazing guests, all the guests who we have lined up, coming up. Very excited. And yeah, guys, so thank you again. Leave us a nice review if you could, or rating. It really means a lot to help support the podcast even more. So we will see you guys in the next episode, but now I'm going to divert you guys to our throwback interview. This was from January 2022. Which was, of course, episode 3 of the podcast, called "It's All Good, Man." And this one's actually on YouTube. Actually, now that I remember it, because that was back when I did videos for it as well. But I'm just going to include the interview in this one here. So, yeah, this was released. It was released on February 1st. 2022, but we recorded it a week or so prior, so it was in January 2022. So definitely, guys, thank you again, and until the next episode, this is Franky signing off. Cheers, everyone. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Corcoran Entertainment Show. I'm your host, Franky Corcoran, as always. That never changes. And joining me right now is the man, the myth, the legend, the man who I said in the intro, and I also put in the episode description, that this man has entertainment in his blood, Kieran Crocker. Kieran, it's great to see you here, man.
Yeah, nice to see you too, Franky. Nice to join you on the show.
Awesome. Absolutely, man. It's so good to have you here. So, as I mentioned before, Kieran, for those of you who are local community theater goers here in Miramichi, Kieran played the Beast in River May Productions' Beauty and the Beast. How long ago was that now? That was
5 years in April.
5 years in April. Oh my God, isn't that hard to believe? So tell me, what's it like playing a role like that, where it's something that's so beloved and it's so, like, you want to do it justice? Were you nervous going into that, or how was that whole process, and how would you approach it?
Well, you could say I was pretty nervous going into it, because, it was my first it's the first major part I ever got as, the lead character and all that. And so, yeah, I definitely did want to do justice to the character, and I definitely did want to, do it right. So how I prepared for that role basically was, I rewatched some scenes from the movie, and I also went over my lines really good and all that, and I picked up a few trademarks that the Beast is known for. And the only theater experience I had before that was another JMH show they did, and that was Elf back in 2015, but I was just a background extra at the time. So this was quite the step up from then, like a background extra to a lead role. That was, man.
Well, hey, there's no such thing as small parts in theater. You know what I mean? There's always a role for everyone in there too. And you went to great lengths to play the character well. You even grew your hair out too.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So how was that? Like, did you cut it off immediately after the show, or did you keep it? I can't remember how you Oh, there. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Did you hear me there?
Yeah, you kind of froze up there for a second.
Oh, I did. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, it's all good. So yeah, did you cut it off immediately after, or did you keep it?
Did I cut it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it cut immediately after. Yeah,
I did. I was gonna say, I wasn't sure if it was one of those types of situations where it just kind of literally grew on you, that you just decided to leave it, kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I had long hair when they casted me, and they asked me, "Hey, keep your long hair. We need it for the show." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I'll keep it."
No, well, there you go. Absolutely, absolutely. So, what was your reaction like when you first found out that that's who you were playing? Were you kind of thinking like, "Oh my God," and it's like it was your first big part? Were you kind of just thinking like, "Oh, like, like why me," kind of thing? Like, is that kind of what you were feeling, or was it more like just like, "Oh wow, that's awesome,"
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I got there. I'm the lead character. Whoa, right, awesome. Like, yeah, I was pretty excited, but I was also, again, I was also nervous, which is normal to be nervous, but I got it all done, got it all down, worked it out, played the role
No,
right.
absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely, and and I really appreciate like your dedication to character, growing the hair out and stuff like that. Well, I mean, like you said, you already had it grown out previously going into the show, but that's something though, man. That's something I really really admire, like your dedication and stuff.
Hey, I didn't just grow out the hair, I grew out the horns too, and the teeth, and
Oh my
the fur.
god, like yeah,
I
you
grew all
you
that out.
literally transformed. Like,
Oh yeah.
what is this, a Goosebumps
Yeah,
novel or something like that?
what's that?
Is this a Goosebumps novel? I think this is a Goosebumps book. That's what it feels like. Do you remember those books,
Oh
Goosebumps?
yeah, turned into the
That's what it
beast,
felt.
right?
That's what it felt like for a sec.
No, Teen Wolf. More
Teen
like
Wolf.
Teen
Oh
Wolf.
yes, there we
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
I'm very uncultured. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, man. I hated those prosthetics though. The makeup that they gave me, like it looked good and all, but every time I took them off, they super glued that stuff to my face. So
did
every
they
time I
really
was,
like?
yeah, well, not super glued. They had this special type of skin glue for it, and taking it off after, like, I just went crazy and just ripped it right off, and I'd have like a rash on my forehead and on my face, and it'd be brutal
You were
afterwards.
probably just better off just leaving it on, like like the whole week, go to school and go to
From
work like that. You know what I
go to
mean?
school like that.
It'd be
No.
so much easier. It would have been so much easier.
I, I was sweating in the stuff too, and I had like a little puddle of sweat in my chin prosthetic.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Wasn't
Oh
fun. The makeup. Yeah.
no, well there we
But
go.
no,
I mean, that's
I'm probably gonna do more makeup roles in the future though, so I might as well get used to it.
no, well there you go. Absolutely. And I mean, like, when you go into theater, that's kind of like, the expectation, you're like, I'm open to many different what do you call that?
Different opportunities and all that.
Opportunities, or yeah,
Mhm.
I'm kind of I should have had a thesaurus with me. But
Yeah, as tiring as the makeup is, I actually would like to play more makeup roles where I'm unrecognizable because I think those are some of the best roles that actors could play.
no, absolutely. I mean, like, even like you look at someone like this is one I always go back to, is Johnny Depp in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh
when,
yeah,
when he was Willy
the
Wonka.
white.
I was like,
Yeah,
so someone said, yeah, this was before I realized that it was Johnny Depp, and they're saying, oh, that Johnny Depp movie, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I said, he wasn't in that. What are you talking about? And then I went back. I said, oh my god, that was him. Like it's just stuff like that just blows my mind. It's unbelievable. And any fond memories of doing all the shows? Was that the only one that you did with JMH, or did you do? Well, I mean, you also did Elf and Beauty and the Beast. Did you do anything else for that, or was that pretty well?
uh, no, that
Just
those are my only acting credits as of right now.
oh well, there you go.
So
And I
yeah,
mean,
I've had experience playing a background extra, a lead character, and a character that requires makeup. That's it.
but it's quite
And two
the
of
it's
those are
quite
the
the
same thing.
impressive way to start off. That's for sure, man. Like, that's really something. And
Yeah.
I even mentioned too, I said Kyron will be in the first corporate entertainment production. We had Jansen on here for the first episode, one of your poker buddies.
Oh,
What can you tell us about your character? Jansen kind of delved into his character a little bit. What can you tell us about Davey?
Davey, yeah. So he's a journalist, and basically, man, I feel like you've wrote this character just for me because just the certain things this guy says and just the way he reacts kind of sounds exactly like the way I would, sort of. So that's cool.
No, well, they're absolutely. I mean, hey, it's one of those roles where it's like, as you're writing it, you're like, one thing that helps you is that when you write the lines in someone else's voice, that helps so much. And then as I started doing Davey, I was like, that sounds like Kyron, man. Like that sounds just like Kyron. And I think, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really, really fun. And you're
Oh,
nailing it for sure. Tell
yeah,
me something.
I'm excited to get back into like the us rehearsing it again whenever that
No, absolutely. because everything's kind of all crazy now. And also, I probably should put just a disclaimer for our viewers. If you notice, the audio is kind of going in and out. The connection's kind of iffy tonight. It's just, it's snowing a bit here and everything. So apologies for that. But you know what? We're here. This is what we do. The show must go on. So I just thought I'd throw with that little disclaimer. Tell me, you saw Avengers Endgame and No Way Home how many times?
Okay, well, No Way Home was 6 times. Endgame was 8 times.
Like, yeah. I'm telling you, ladies, this is what I mean by entertainment in his blood. I love that.
Oh, yeah. Right behind me there.
Look at that. Yeah, there you go. For those of you watching the video version. And there, look at that. For those of you who are only listening to the audio version, it's a Captain America shield he's got in the background there. And is that Captain America dog tags? That's what that is, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dog tag.
So there we go. So that's what I mean by entertainment in his blood. And Marvel is quite...
Lots of posters around here.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Look at that. People in the audio version are probably like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah. Sorry for the visually impaired there.
Yeah, no, there. We'll have to just describe each and every like pixel in that frame.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'll just say it right now that I got a Beauty and the Beast picture frame there, a few Rick and Morty posters, Iron Man picture frame, Shang-Chi posters, Star Wars banner, Doug the Pug right back there. Yeah, there.
Like, that's something. Like, look at that. Like, I love your passion. I've always admired your passion for entertainment. And so you're also into like Marvel movies, DC movies, and also into theater. And so what else? What other movies have you kept up with in recent days too? Like not just Marvel. I know Marvel's like your main thing, but your Star Wars or.
Oh yeah. Well, there's the Book of Boba Fett going on right now on Disney Plus, and I still gotta get on that. It's just I've been busy with a few things and everything. But what else? So, in March there's the Batman coming out, and I'm really excited for that because like Batman,
Robert Pattinson, man. Oh my God, that's gonna be so good.
Pattinson, yes.
I can't wait. I'm so hyped for that.
Yeah, not just that, but Matt Reeves is also directing it, and I just love what he did with the Planet of the Apes movies. Like,
and speaking of Planet of the Apes, Andy Serkis is playing Alfred.
Oh yes, he's playing Alfred. That's right.
So we got a great cast lined up for that. So how many times do you plan on seeing that?
Oh man, I don't know. Depends on how fucking awesome it is. I'll see it probably the average twice, but if it's like really fucking awesome, as I'm hoping it will, chances are I'll probably go see it like 3-4 times maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it is.
No, absolutely. So you're almost like a regular down there at Cineplex, eh? Like you go in there, are they almost like, oh, you again? Or like, oh, hey, you're coming to see it again? Like, so what's it like when you go back to the theater?
Well, see, among second viewings, I begin to notice some new things and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. And honestly, part of the reason why I go back to the theater again is because on my first viewing, there can be some people in the audience who are just annoying and don't turn off their phones and just, don't have any respect for the theater experience. So, maybe I'd have to go back just to get a better experience this time around.
No, exactly. Yeah. And there's something about being in a theater though. That's the thing. And I mean, like, people can say all the time, oh, like, just watch it from home. It's like, well, no, it's not really the same. You know what I mean? So like, I still remember you were there. I saw Avengers Endgame the second night it was out, and that was you going, and you were also there. You were going back. That must have been your second time watching it. It was my first time. Third time.
Yeah, I remember clearly.
Yeah, tell me that experience. Avengers Endgame in a theater. That was just out of this world.
Yeah, exactly. I remember going there opening night with my Captain America t-shirt and everything like that, and it was jam-packed. Like, that part of the theater where like there's the door that you walk through, but there's that whole glass box.
Oh, the entryway, yeah.
Yeah, that part was so packed up with people. I had to wait like right outside the door with everybody else until the box office opened.
No way.
That's how many Marvel fans there were in there waiting. Yeah, because Avengers Endgame, it was at the time just, the culmination of all these films from 2008's Iron Man up until then, with all these stories coming together and colliding. And like that was the plan. Marvel had that plan of bringing all their characters together from the very beginning because like they looked at the source material from the comics and thought, hey, how cool would it be if we actually did something like this, crossed our characters over? And like it's really awesome when you have that vision from the very beginning and just executing it and it all starts to come full circle at the end could just be quite the achievement for someone to pull off. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I mean, even like you look at No Way Home, you know what I mean? That was a lot of build up there too.
Yeah. Yeah, especially way before the MCU was even a thing too, with the first Spider-Man
exactly.
movie back
Back
in
with Tobey Maguire
2002.
and Sam Raimi, you know what I mean? Like that was quite the. So tell me how that experience. Well, because Endgame was like the last like big movie, or maybe not the last big movie. I might be wrong in that. Was one of the last big movies before the whole COVID shutdown thing. How was that experience compared to No Way Home, where we were, COVID was still out there, we still had to wear masks. Obviously, it wasn't as good, but how would you compare both of those experiences?
Kept going.
Oh, there we go. Yep.
Yeah, I was just talking there, and then I heard you going. You froze up again, did you?
Oh, I did. Oh, son of a gun. Yeah, don't mind me.
Yeah.
Don't mind this connection, guys. This is one of those show must go on kind of experiences. So, or situations. So yeah, I was just gonna say. So, like, how would you compare the experience watching Endgame, which was probably one of the last big movies before the whole shutdown, as opposed to No Way Home, where COVID was still out there and it was still this big, we still had to wear masks and everything. Obviously, the experience wasn't as good, but how would you compare both of those experiences in the theater?
Well, how do I compare? Well, see, I guess part of me is just lucky that Endgame came out before the pandemic started.
Oh gosh, yes. I would have gotten COVID just to watch Endgame at a theater. That's how.
I mean, No Way Home. There were a lot of people at the theater for No Way Home too, but there weren't as much as there were Endgame, and I'm pretty sure a big reason for that is because of COVID. Like before
absolutely.
COVID, we were allowed. Big gatherings were allowed to happen back then. A lot of people were allowed to be around and all that shit. Concerts and restaurants and everything. And now, I mean, those things technically still can happen, just not as much.
50% capacity. That's the.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, yeah. It is. It was different, absolutely. But I mean, us like. It's one of those things where like we were cooped up for so long, and No Way Home really saved movie theaters, because how much did it make worldwide now? Like,
it's made over $1 billion worldwide now.
It's made over $1 billion now.
It's almost like at least in the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time now.
Like that's crazy. So like that's proof right there that the movie theaters can, people can recover from this. You know what I mean? Like,
plus it's Spider-Man. Like it's Spider-Man. Come on, there's a lot of Spider-Man fans out there who aren't going to want to miss this. So
no, exactly. And I mean, like, sure, you can watch it on Netflix, put it on Disney Plus or whatever, but it's not the same. It really isn't the same. And it was just one of those experiences, like,
because I even remember when I was 5 years old going and seeing Spider-Man 2 in the theater for the first time, and just seeing No Way Home, seeing Tobey Maguire back in the suit. Like it brought me back to when I was just 5-year-old me in the theater seeing Spider-Man 2 again. Same with Doc Ock.
And Green Goblin. Don't forget Green Goblin. That was the best part of the movie. Oh
yes. Can the Spider-Man come out to play?
Yeah. There we go. I love that. So that's Karen's audition to be Willem Dafoe in the next whenever they do that again.
Month, and I still get that.
Wow, like no, it's something for sure, man. So what other movies are you looking forward to now going into 2022? There's still lots more Marvel coming out. Anything else? I mean, like, of course, like Marvel. Anything else?
The next Doctor Strange in particularly, I cannot wait for that.
Oh my
Like,
God. Well, Sam Raimi's directing it too, right?
oh yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and just it's gonna keep playing with the concept No Way Home played with, where they establish other Marvel movies as part of the MCU's multiverse. Like we're gonna have Strange go into the X-Men universe, to like Ghost Rider universe, to different Marvel universes from way before the MCU was even a thing. Like that is gonna be like something for
Think
sure.
think we might see
Man,
Patrick Stewart again, Professor
as
X?
Professor X, yeah,
You think?
quite possibly, yeah. If we do, that'll be awesome.
I
That
mean,
would be
hey,
sick.
I say again, I say in a world where Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and Alfred Molina and all them can come back, I say
Yeah.
anything's possible. Jamie Foxx can come back as Electro. Anybody can come back. Hell,
Oh
Hugh
yeah,
Jackman
pretty
could come
much.
back. You know,
Yes, Hugh
you,
Jackman.
you never
Come on, bring the
know.
guy. I know he's in his 50s now, but like, come on, just one more time, just for this big multiversal event.
No, exactly. Like it's one of those like you can't miss it. You know what I mean? And then of course there's
Oh yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder, which is going to be
Oh yes. I'm
super
excited for that
super
too.
stoked for that.
Oh
Is there any
yeah.
like non-Marvel DC movies coming out that you know of? That's I think really Marvel and DC are like the only thing that are like keeping the theaters alive. I'm finding
Oh yeah,
in
for
a way,
sure. Like
So
the big movies and all that. Well, not really the DC movies, I think, because like those have the deal with HBO Max and all that, and like there are people who can still watch those at home, at on a Crave or whatever.
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the
So
DC movies. Marvel tried to do that with Black Widow on Disney Plus, but that didn't work out so well for
that
them.
blew up in their face because Scarlett Johansson sued them.
Oh yeah,
So
but I
that's
mean,
the last thing they want to have happen. But so yeah, with that down and out of the way, we'll get to our first main topic. Our first main topic is going to be talking about when you guys are watching this or listening to this, it will be the 2-year anniversary of probably one of the greatest shows, honestly, that I've ever seen, period.
one
BoJack
of the
Horseman.
greatest animated shows ever. Yes,
Probably the
BoJack.
best animated show I've ever seen, ever. Nothing will probably ever top
Oh,
it. So
oh yes.
BoJack Horseman 2 years later. So we'll break this up into two sections. This little thing. First, we'll talk about non-spoilers for people who maybe aren't caught up or haven't seen it. How will we persuade them? And then we'll talk about more in detail, like spoilers about BoJack Horseman, like how they portrayed it, this and that, and specific events in the series. But how did you start watching BoJack Horseman? Because I know the problem with it is that it's hard for people to get into because they see, oh, it's just some silly show about this talking alcoholic horse. So is that what you thought first?
Yeah, exactly. I remember watching the trailer for season 1 way back when it first started, and like just the way they marketed the show in the first season trailer, they made it look like it was going to be this goofy Family Guy-esque series that would just have the same typical obscene humor that we see in a lot of adult animated shows. And for the first few episodes of season 1, it is like that. But once you're past those episodes, the show then takes its complete 180-degree turn, and it starts to show you, hey, this show isn't just all about shits and giggles. We have some pretty dark stuff back here that we want to show you guys. And yeah, I think season 1 did a pretty good job at, like, it started off a little rocky, but eventually by the end of season 1, it got its point across that it wasn't just going to be your typical adult animated series.
No, absolutely. And I think the problem was to a start was the first 6 episodes, I think, were probably some of the worst of them. They were just so over the top. They were so silly. They were so what am I watching kind of thing. And then I think it was around episode 7 or 8 or so, that was when it started to get like real serious. And I think that the first 4 or so episodes were the episodes that the critics saw to give the reviews. Like the early screeners, they got the first 4 episodes, which like I said, were some of the worst of the series. So right off the bat, people see the bad reviews. Oh, this show's is going to be terrible. It's like, oh no, just keep watching, because that was with me. I saw the first 2 or so episodes, and I said this isn't that good. And Sean Doucette, actually, who was our guest last week, he talked me into saying, he said, no man, you got to watch it, and I'm so glad I did. If someone was talking to you right now saying, oh, I saw this show BoJack Horseman, I don't know if I should check it out, how would you convince them? to watch it and give it a chance?
Yeah, how would I convince them is, well, I'd probably explain it to them like this. I'd tell them, oh man, see, BoJack, it's pretty hard to get into at first. Like, it is a little rocky at the beginning, but I mean, you just got to give that show a chance. Every show, really, like every show does. Okay, well, not every show, Breaking Bad, but I mean, there are shows that do start off a little rocky, but like with time and as you keep watching them, they do eventually get better. And that's exactly probably how I pitch it to someone who'd want to watch BoJack Horseman. I tell them, man, it does start off rocky within the first half. Is really going to want to get on board to it, especially if you're one of those people who suffer from depression and you have like you're always down about it. I feel like BoJack Horseman is the show that could make people feel better. Like they can know after watching the show that they're not alone and that there are other people out there, especially the writers of the show, who have felt what you feel, and that there are always better ways to turn yourself around and be better for the people around you. And like that's what I think BoJack Horseman's best quality is for people. Like, it could help people get out of their tough spot.
No, absolutely. That was very, very well put. I have to say that was really good. I mean, especially for me, because I mean, like, I've been open about this to some people. I've struggled with anxiety for years and still do, but it was almost a scary. It was almost scary watching it sometimes, because you're like, oh my God, like that's kind of how the episode that always stands out to me. This, I'm not really gonna delve too much into spoilers here, but basically there's an episode, you'll know what I'm talking about, where BoJack is self-loathing for a whole episode. Mm. That episode, oh my God, it was such an accurate depiction of anxiety. Yes. And it was one of those where it was kind of scary. I'm like, should I keep watching this? Because this is like this feels too real. You know what I mean? Real. Like too real. Like it was almost, but yeah, like, yeah, it's just so I'm even just trying to put into words how amazing this show truly is.
How surreal it is. Just
no, exactly.
But for real though, like, you really can't make up words for how good the show is. Like, it's really something you got to see for yourself in order to like really understand and get.
No, absolutely. And so I think now we will dive into the spoiler section, where we will talk a little bit about the more in-depth analysis of some of the certain of certain plots and stories. So definitely, for those of you who haven't seen it, please do yourself a favor. Check the show out.
Please check it out. Get off right here, go check the show out, and then watch this part of the podcast.
Exactly. Because I know there's a lot of people out here who have seen it, and I know they're probably they know a lot of the stuff that we were probably alluding to, and they're like, "Oh, come on, just say it." So definitely, yeah, do yourself a favor and come back and watch this whenever you are caught up. But I'm just gonna say right now, Sarah Lynn, right, Sarah Lynn?
Yeah. Oh God, don't!
I'm gonna start making them cry.
You're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me cry, man.
Like. Ooh. That whole Sarah Lynn storyline was just wow. Like, what were your thoughts when of course BoJack has done so many terrible things throughout the show, and because we follow him, it's easy to get back behind him in a weird way. But I think definitely the breaking point was when we found out about Sarah Lynn, that he basically left. He waited 17 minutes to call Sarah Lynn. To call an ambulance to save Sarah Lynn after she overdosed. So then it turns out she died in the hospital. So BoJack could have saved her if he wasn't so selfish. So I mean, what decision that BoJack may make that you were kind of thinking like, should I keep following this guy or what?
Yeah, man, honestly, I've had so many thoughts while watching the show about that. Should I keep following this guy? I mean, like, hell, even before Sarah Lynn like died, like even the decisions he made before, so just the whole shit with him and Penny and that freaking boat in season 2, like that right there just made me go, oh my fuck, like But
it's haunting. It's just haunting. Even they even have that thing throughout the show. Every time someone mentions New Mexico, they have that little guitar strum. Like, oh, New Mexico, Dylan. It's kind of I'm probably butchering it right now just because it's through audio. But like I said, watch the like for the people who haven't seen the show but are just watching the spoiler part because they don't care. No, definitely watch it because it's a whole different ballgame than me just saying it.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I think the decision that really made me go, oh shit, should I keep going on? It's the end of season 5 there when BoJack that
was
gets all choky.
Yeah, as I say, for those of you watching the audio version, he choked someone.
Oh yeah, that was one of the most disturbing things I've probably seen in any show ever. Animated, not animated, just that made me go, oh fuck. BoJack, no, BoJack, what are you doing, man? No.
But it's the genius in the writing though that where he's still doing all these terrible things, but we can't help but still root for him in a weird way. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. We want to see him succeed, but at the same time, he's making these decisions that make us go, "No, BoJack, don't do that. No!" Like,
exactly. Like, it's just. But there was one more. I remember season 4. I go back and forth with season 4 and 5 about what's my favorite season. But season 4, one of the reasons why it was so good to me was the whole storyline with his mother. And it's that scene at the end of the episode that focuses on her and her backstory and stuff like that. So basically the whole plotline of the season is BoJack is going to, he wants his mother to remember who he is just so he can tell her off. Like his whole life, he wanted to just say, fuck you, mom. And
fuck you, mom. That's what he wanted to go.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all he wanted to do. And then when he leaves her alone in that room and she finally recognizes him. So he has the opportunity to say what he always wanted to say to her. And instead he just comforts her. Just says, when she says, where are we? Oh, you're in, where was it? Michigan or something like that. You're in Michigan and you're eating ice cream by the lake. And that was one moment there where I'm like, okay, people can change. Yeah.
And we have seen BoJack change a little bit within the last season, especially the mid-season finale of season 6, where we see him, he dyes his hair, he gets his hair cut and he shows his gray hair and
his natural color.
Yeah, he gives Mr. Peanut Butter the crossover episode he always wanted, and
oh my gosh,
cleans up Diane's apartment for her. Like, it shows that when you start to change your life more positively, more positive incomes come out for the people around you, and it's a very important message.
No, absolutely. And one thing that you mentioned there too, it was when he cleans the Diane's apartment. One thing that always stuck out to me in that scene was how, like season 1, BoJack would have cleaned up her apartment and then he would have waited for her to come out and so he can go, hey, look what I did for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But exactly. In that episode, he cleaned the apartment and took off on his plane. Like he didn't even, like old BoJack would have wanted, to hear, wow, BoJack, thank you so much. Like, you're a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And instead, he's just like, I just cleaned your apartment. It was a nice thing to do, and just. He literally took off. He flew off in a plane. Yeah,
exactly. That's the thing I love about the character of BoJack too. It's that, see, his whole life he's been just like this guy who's been wanted to be recognized and wanted to be like, appreciated for things he's done. And he's also a sitcom actor, and he's spent most of his life in his mind thinking that the closure he gets in sitcoms are going to be the same closure he gets in real life, only to come to the realization that, you can't just automatically get that closure. You need to be good for it. It depends on who you are as a person in order to get that type of closure.
Exactly.
It's not like most sitcoms where you get a never-ending loop of closure every episode in the sitcom. No. You need to work for that closure. And that's what I really like about doesn't get that closure, and this is what causes him to spiral out of control and do drugs and do alcohol and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, no, oh, sorry. Yeah, there, my connection was just going off a little bit there. I hate this friggin' weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love that you mentioned that though too. The whole sitcom aspect where he's basically, oh, like, you know, my whole life can be resolved in 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, you really have to work for that. And one thing I love too, there's a quote Diane says. It's there's always the day after the happy ending. Where, like, you know, just because you get one good day of happiness, it doesn't just change everything. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can't just make up. It's like if you were dieting, or you know, like dieting and exercising, you're like, okay, this is the image this is how I want to look, this and that. And then once you finally get to that, you go, okay, that's how I want to look. Okay, now I'm just gonna, you know, go about my business before and just, you know, destroy myself. You know what I mean? It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. You gotta, you know, keep doing it every day. That's the hard part, you know? So that's one, that's a great lesson.
Exactly.
So tell me, do you have a favorite episode from the show? Or I know it's going to be hard to pick out of all the 6 seasons.
Oh, yeah. But... I mean, there's a lot of episodes I really love, but I think the one episode I really think of when I think about my favorite episodes, it would have to be the underwater episode from season 3.
Ooh,
like that episode.
Yes.
You go to that underwater city. Like the whole, it's a silent episode. Well, not the whole episode silent, but like most of the episode is silent. And, you know, I just love that type of storytelling, just silent stories that are able to tell their stories through like visual media and all that, instead of having characters exchange dialogue, because like that's like art. Like when you look at a painting, you can guess for yourself what the painting's about just by looking at it visually. And the thing about this episode of BoJack Horseman is that same thing, like how visually stunning it is, and that fact that there's almost no dialogue in the whole episode, so they tell that through the visual.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, that is a really good one. For me personally, I know I'm not alone in this. It's The View from Halfway Down.
Oh,
that's my favorite. Oh my God, that episode.
Oh yeah.
There was a point. I remember. I think it was the episode before where basically BoJack relapses and he's, you know, breaks into his old house and he starts watching his old sitcoms like that. There was a point where I had to wait a bit to watch the final 2 episodes. I was like, oh my God, this is too much. So I waited a few hours before I finished it. And oh my God, after The View from Halfway Down, like from the symbolism, the performances, the poem from The View from Halfway Down, and then that line that Herb says, oh BoJack, there is no other side. This is it. I've seen that on so many memes and TikToks and everything. It's so sad. But speaking of that episode, I'm seeing a lot of mixed opinions as to whether that should have been the series finale there. Where do you stand on that? Do you think it would have been a better ending if BoJack died, or what do you think of that?
Well, for one thing, it would have been a pretty fucked up ending, that's for sure.
Oh my God, like, absolutely. Like, I'm glad they didn't end it that way.
Yeah. Damn. But yeah, I think it is good that wasn't the last episode of the show, because like, you know, just us having to go for the rest of our lives thinking, oh shit, did BoJack really die or whatever? But no, he didn't die. He is going to pay for all of the mistakes he made in the past, but he won't die. So
no, exactly. Yeah. And I think it would also defeat the whole like moral of the story, which is the last word that, or like one of the last words in the show, like when BoJack and Diane are talking on the roof, she goes, life's a bitch and then you die, but sometimes life's a bitch and then you keep living. And that's really the moral of the story, is like death isn't, suicide's not an option. Like that's really one way to put it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just that's, wow, like it's it is a very heavy topic, but I mean, like that's basically like the moral of it. It's like, you know, death sometimes life sucks. Life will kick you in the ass sometimes. You'll go through all kinds of shit, and you just keep living. You know what I mean? Like some people, it's tough, but death isn't always the only option. You know what I mean? Like there's so much more to life, and that's what I mean by like so many lessons learned from the show. Like it's unbelievable. Uh so yeah, so we'll move into our final topic in there soon, but just before we do, I just want to ask you, since you have a lot of favorite shows, where does this lie? Is this in your top 5 of all time, or your top 10, top 20? Where does that fall there?
Yeah, okay, it's definitely somewhere in my top 10 favorite shows of all time, and it's probably my second favorite my second favorite animated series, maybe even my favorite. Like I still have a soft spot for the first 10 seasons of The Simpsons. That still remains like my favorite.
Yeah. Hello there, folks. Sorry about that. We were just experiencing some technical difficulties, but we're back now. So, Karen, what were you saying about The Simpsons?
The Simpsons, right? Yeah. So yeah, what I was thinking there, just to shorten it down, because I've said it enough times now. Yeah. Yeah, if I had to think of the perfect adult animated series, I would say, yeah, BoJack Horseman, definitely.
Yeah, instead of a show like The Simpsons that went on for like 30 some seasons,
So,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? So
exactly.
long. It was just,
Yeah.
but I mean, they're still going. So I mean, like I think they're doing something right. You know what I mean? If they're still going,
Oh,
but
yeah. I mean,
for
hey,
me,
Disney owns them now, so they're
yeah,
definitely.
exactly. So they're probably not going to die for another 20 seasons. So that's just my opinion. I haven't watched The Simpsons since like season 10 or so. I mean, like you were saying, the first 10 seasons were gold, so I wouldn't trade those for anything. For me personally, I would say it was in my top 5 for sure. I mean, like it's hard to narrow them all down, or like actually rank them, because there's so much good stuff on. But I mean, like BoJack Horseman's definitely in my top 5. Anybody who hasn't seen it, who likes drama and comedy, there is a lot of comedy too. I know we kind of talked about the more serious side of it, but definitely there's lots of good comedy, lots of good drama.
Oh yeah,
Amazing
lots of funny
drama.
stuff too. My boy Todd.
Yeah, Todd. Hooray!
Yeah. I'm the live action Todd, apparently.
Yeah, yes, there. For those of you
go.
watching the video version, like maybe I'll do like a side by side comparison here. I'll put a picture of Todd on here somewhere. But yeah, like Aaron Paul's in it. You know what I mean? Like that's something amazing. And which is funny that we mentioned him, because now that will take us to our final main topic, which is the Breaking Bad spinoff series, Better Call Saul. I know Aaron Paul's not in it. I know that was me trying to be creative and find a way to go to the next topic. But so Better Call Saul, season 6. It'll be the final season. And so Kyron and I, we are both huge fans of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad and El Camino. So so it should be coming out at the time of this recording. There's no actual date yet. Who knows? By the time this releases, there might actually be a release date out there. But right now, it's looking like spring. Maybe I'm gonna guess spring. If I had to guess, when do you think it's probably? Maybe spring or?
I'm probably gonna say later this, like maybe at least the fall, like maybe September. I think is when season 6 is gonna start streaming.
Yeah,
possibly.
which is unfortunate for sure. But I mean, like hell, the cast went through a lot this year because of course with COVID that delayed things, and then Bob Odenkirk's heart attack.
Oh yes,
like that was quite the shock. So luckily he's doing well, and he's doing better. And so as far as I know, like I do follow a Facebook page or Instagram page called All About Saul. They basically go in behind the scenes and take pictures and stuff like that. Vince Gilligan is directing the second last episode, and Peter Gould's directing the series finale. So we're in for some good stuff, because once those two are involved, it's going to be something. But so yeah, just a quick brief recap where we left off for those of you viewers who watch Better Call Saul who don't remember, because it's been so long now since the show's been on. But basically, last season ended with Jimmy and Kim now planning to take down Howard. This big plan to take down Howard. Kim's been involved with the cartel. Now it seems like she loves this side of Saul, and now she's kind of embracing it as well too. And so now she wants to take down Howard and Nacho, man. Nacho, I'm worried about Nacho. Like after the failed assassination attempt on Lalo on Gus's orders, Nacho is on the run. He thinks Lalo's dead, but little does he know Lalo is alive and well. And judging by that last scene, he's not looking too happy. So so where do you think we'll start off with season 6 with Lalo? We'll start with the cartel side of things first, and then move into Saul and Kim later.
Right. So well, one of my few thoughts on what's going to happen in the last season involving Lalo is I think that maybe Tuco is going to come back. And I think we're actually going to get to see Tuco and Lalo meet for the first time ever. Well, not for the first time, but I mean like on screen together.
On screen,
for the first time. Yeah, because we've heard, Lalo mention screen together before. So I think it would be cool if they brought Raymond Cruz back as Lalo. No, not Lalo. No,
Lalo.
Lalo. Fucked up there. Yeah, Tuco to come back just for that last season so we could actually see him interact with Lalo and, set up where he is in Breaking Bad with him taking over the Salamanca drug empire or whatever. But, it would kind of be hard to put Tuco in the last season because Raymond Cruz has even mentioned in a few interviews he doesn't like playing the character.
No,
Tuco.
I was surprised he even came back for Better Call Saul because the reason why, because I guess Tuco was in Breaking Bad season 2. He was going to be like the main villain of season 2, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and then he wanted out. He didn't want to do it anymore, so they killed him off in episode 2. So, and then they just moved past it. So I was surprised he even came back for Better Call Saul, but I'd love to see him again. I think we should see him again because, the timelines are starting to sync up now.
Yeah, just one more time so you can get that satisfactory of completing the storyline and building the bridge for Tuco's character and where he is in Breaking Bad. And yeah, like I honestly think it was a really good decision to bring Tuco back in the first season, though, because to me, I felt that's what helped Better Call Saul really start off strong and give fans that Breaking Bad feel that they wanted for the show. So
no, exactly. And I still remember I mean like I've been watching Better Call Saul since the pilot back in, I can't remember what year it was now.
2015.
2015, yeah. I still remember watching it because I was a huge Breaking Bad fan before. I was so excited for Better Call Saul. When Tuco arrived at the end of the first episode was like, oh, I'm hooked. I am so hooked onto the show. And so it would just be great for it to, kind of come full circle and just maybe not even play like a prominent role, but just pop up again. You know what I mean? Just because, he's a great villain. He's a great actor. We just love to see him.
Yeah. Tight.
Yeah. Do like a Mike Tyson punch too, sucker punch. And so yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what they do with Lalo because of course this is brought up. You go on Better Call Saul Reddit, there's so many people talking about that scene when Walt and Jesse kidnapped Saul out in the desert in Breaking Bad, where
it wasn't me, it was Lalo. Like,
yeah, exactly. Or it was Lalo didn't send you, and then they're like, who? He goes, oh, thank God. So you would think that would mean that Lalo was still alive then, but then also Gus when he kills the cartel, Don Eladio, and then he shows Hector that like a necklace or pendant or whatever. I can't remember what exactly it was. He says the Salamanca name dies with you. So we're like, does that mean Lalo is dead, or does Gus just think he's dead? You know what I mean? But I definitely think once Gus, I think Gus is smart enough to know that Lalo is probably not dead. I don't think Gus is that, he's too smart to let something like that, like, I don't think he's just going to take that hitman's word that he's dead. You know what I mean? I think he's going to want proof. He's going to want a body. Gus is way too smart and he's way too calculated and he's way too, I can't see him
that's another character we've never seen Gus, never seen Tuco interact with before either. So there's another reason.
And two of the best villains, you know what I mean? I mean, like I'm gonna say it though, like my favorite TV villain was Gus for years, but
Oh,
Lalo
yeah.
has taken that now. Lalo's my favorite
Oh,
villain now. Lalo,
say it
just
again.
say it. Oh, tell me again.
Tell it
Oh,
again.
that scene. Oh my gosh, that scene was so. Ooh,
Intense.
geez. I couldn't even sit down watching that scene, and that's how scary he is. And that's where, like, if he was scary then, season 6 is going to be another level, because I mean Gus and Nacho basically slaughtered his entire family and his friends, you know what I mean? So if he was scary in season 5 and season 4 and the other, like, it's, you know, the smiles are gone after that. Like, he's not, you know, he's gonna go on a rampage. So that's why
No
I'm so
more
excited to
Mr.
see
Nice
how this is going to turn out. And I think we could get a good little storyline of the whole they think Lalo's dead. I think they could get a lot out of that. But my only issue is Gus and Mike, I think, are gonna Gus and Mike are too smart to think like, oh, Lalo's dead, don't worry about it. I think they're gonna see there's, you know, the story doesn't add up, this and that. Like, you know, like we need to see a body. They didn't give us a body. None of the men are alive from the hit now, you know. So I think they're
Right.
going to realize it fairly quickly. And I mean, like, you know, do you agree? I mean, Gus and Mike are just, they're way too smart to let something like that.
Yeah, that is true. Like, I'm pretty sure Gus and Mike are going to look more into that, and eventually they're going to go find Lalo and take him out for good this time.
No, exactly.
And
Well, I mean, I mean, find Lalo and take him out, but not before I think Lalo and Kim have another confrontation coming up.
oh yes,
After
yes.
what happened there, I do not think they are done. I think something's going to come of that. Whether he kills Kim or Kim kills him, I don't know. Like, it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's,
There have been plenty of theories ever since the show began what happens to Kim, because we never see her at all in Breaking Bad. But see, I don't think she's gonna die, or at least she won't die in a way where it's Jimmy's fault, because I can't imagine Jimmy becoming dies. Like, I feel like that would change him. Like,
no, exactly. He'd want to,
drastically.
like, you
And
know,
how he-
if anything, instead of pushing him forward, it would take him back. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, Chuck's death was complicated enough for him. Chuck's death pushed him to become Saul, but Chuck
Yeah.
was just an asshole. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
Kim is everything to him. So if something happened to Kim, I don't think, you know, he would probably, you know, he would lose his will to live then at that point if Kim ended up dying. But we
I
do
think-
know she's not in Breaking Bad, so that's the tricky part.
Yeah, I think what could probably happen to Kim potentially is, you know, she's starting to take that, you know, that reckless turn. She's starting to get more into Saul's reckless life or whatever. So chances are she could end up doing something that gets her in prison. And maybe that's why we don't see her at all in Breaking Bad, and that she's in prison. And maybe the end of the show during the Gene storyline, Gene, aka Saul, aka Jimmy, he's going to get himself in jail somehow, and that's how he reunites with Kim. It would be a kind of sad, but also, you know, a good end for him because he's reunited with Kim.
Beautiful ending, absolutely. I mean, like, you know, that would be my ideal. You know, that the optimist in me would want that to happen, because, you know, I think they're great. And, you know, Kim, I say all the time, Ray Seahorn is my celebrity crush. Kim is my celebrity. Kim is my crush. I love Kim. I think she's one of the best characters on TV, period. And Ray Seahorn, like, why she hasn't been nominated for an Emmy or even won an Emmy is just beyond me. But like, I'm gonna start that's a topic for another time. Why hasn't Ray Seahorn gotten an Emmy nomination? But I think my theory on what's gonna happen to Kim is we see a little bit at the end of season 5, Jimmy's getting a little he doesn't like this side of Kim. I think, well, I mean, maybe not that he doesn't like it, but he's getting kind of like disturbed by what I'm like, you know, she's even talking about, oh, like, you know, it's just one lawyer, like, you know, talking about taking down Howard. It's just one lawyer, you know what I mean? Just a career setback, you know what I mean? And Jimmy's kind of like, oh, Kim, like, you know, Howard doesn't deserve that. You know what I mean? So I think something tells me, I feel like Jimmy is going to betray Kim and tell Howard, hey, like give him a heads up. Hey, Kim's going to do this to you. Just know that, you know what I mean? And whether Howard believes him or not, that's another topic. You know what I mean? Like whether he's like, oh, after all you did to me, why should I believe you?
Right. I mean,
But
you did send 2 prostitutes over to my dinner once, so
yeah,
why would
Howie. I love that scene.
Yeah.
That's one of those, oh my gosh, where I felt so sorry for Howard, and I'm like, Jimmy, like, just leave the guy alone. Come on, like, just leave the guy alone. Why are they doing this to him? I don't understand. But no, it's definitely, I mean, like, Howard's one that I'm really interested to see is what's going to happen. What are your Howard predictions? Do you think he's gonna, something's gonna happen to him, or?
Howard. Well, I actually saw like a leaked set video somewhere, and in this leaked set video, I saw that it's
Potential spoiler warning. Sorry, I just wanted
potential spoiler, right? Yeah, in the set video, it shows Bob Odenkirk as playing Saul Goodman in the video, but I noticed he's driving the same car that Howard drives, and his hair is dyed slightly blonde. And I also noticed that there's a woman in a blonde wig walking towards him, I think, and they're at the same motel from Breaking Bad that Wendy hangs out. So I'm starting to
Ooh.
think that maybe Saul is dressing up as Howard, so someone could probably get a photo of him meeting Wendy, and he's going to try and frame Howard to hooking up with Wendy.
I actually did not see that set photo. I followed that Facebook page
Yeah.
or that Instagram page. I'm gonna have to go back. Maybe it's on there and I just
Yeah.
missed it. But wow,
I
that's a Saul move. That is a Saul thing. Saul would absolutely do that.
Exactly.
But I mean, like, it's interesting. Like, do you think they're gonna kill Howard? I can't really see them killing Howard. Just it's tricky. I can't see him.
Maybe they're gonna end up messing up Howard's life so bad that he loses his job. Like maybe that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, Chuck died already. So I don't know if they would do that again, where they have him kill himself again, or kill himself again, kill himself like Chuck did, or if they want to repeat that. It's kind of tricky to say. But speaking of Chuck, there's something about Chuck. I don't think we've seen the last of a Chuck storyline. Hopefully, we get to see Michael McKean again somewhere in the final season, because he's phenomenal. Something people forget a lot, and I think it's worth noting. Jimmy, the whole situation with Howard and Chuck, it was a result of Jimmy exposing his condition to the insurance company, which put him and Howard at odds, which caused Howard to force him out, which later caused Chuck to kill himself.
Yeah.
Howard doesn't know that Jimmy did that he exposed Chuck's illness that, caused all this, you know what I mean? So how he's going to find out, I don't know. Or if he'll find out, I don't know. But I don't think we're done with that. I think something's going to come of that. Howard's going to find out, and I think he's going to lose it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true, man. Yeah, another thing about the last season of Better Call Saul that I've storyline, the black and white parts of the show there.
Oh, the flash forwards. Oh, yeah.
Yes, the Gene storyline. Like last time we saw Gene in season 5, a cab driver recognized him as a Saul Goodman, and he was talking to Ed there the last time, and he was all like, all right, I'm going to take care of it myself. And, a lot of people have theorized that cab driver is an undercover police officer, but I don't think he is, because if he were, right after he says Better Call Saul, that should have been more than enough
proof. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
They would have arrested him right there. So no, my guess is that this is just a regular cab driver who recognized Saul, and now Gene is going to let his paranoia get to him, and I think he's going to end up killing this guy, and this is going to be the real end of Saul's storyline, that he let his paranoia let him kill him. His paranoia let him kill 2 innocent men, and this could probably cause Gene to either just give up or turn himself in, and he could end up in prison, because the Breaking Bad universe tends to have some bittersweet yet tragic ending to things. Like Walt died, Jesse got to go off and into hiding and live the life he wanted, it would only make sense to me that Jimmy would probably end up in prison. And considering the fact that he has such good people skills, this probably wouldn't be such a bad ending for him.
No,
He could
absolutely.
probably, yeah, he could come off as like a jailhouse lawyer or something like that. Maybe.
No, like there's definitely that. Yeah, like that scene at the start of season 5 when the guy when the cab driver comes up to him. Like, yeah, you might think he's a cop or an undercover cop, but like, but that's just the whole paranoia thing of it. You know what I mean? Like he's just so nervous, and he's so like, even in one of those flash forwards when he's just sitting there eating his lunch, and the shoplifter
Oh yeah.
he sees where the shoplifter goes, and the cop comes up to him and says, "Excuse me, sir, do you know where this person went?" And he's just so you know what I mean? Even though they're not coming for him, he's just so paranoid. Or also the one where he's trying to leave the hospital, and she just keeps calling him back. "Oh, excuse me, sir, there was a mistake on the license," or this and that, and you're just like, "Oh my god, just let him go, let him go." Like,
that's the thing about Gene. When he's out of one, he goes into another. Yeah.
No, exactly. Like, I think it's going to be interesting. Like, wow, I never really. It's interesting. I mean, like, it's kind of hard to say whether or not he would kill those two guys. I'm not sure if Saul would ever, or Gene would go to those lengths.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. We've never seen Saul ever go to
those lengths. Yeah.
Let him kill those guys. It feels like it would be the last breaking point for Saul, and that's probably what would want him to turn himself in, because I mean, we've never seen him kill anybody in Breaking Bad. I mean, yeah, he did kind of help Walt and Jesse plan out the things with killing them, but he himself never
wouldn't pull the trigger. You know what I mean? Like,
no. So him killing those guys would be a huge turning point for the end of his arc.
No, interesting for sure. I mean, like, I thought about that, but then part of me is like, no, I can't see him going to those lengths. But then again, when you put it that way, it will be kind of a good way to end his arc, where he was always so like, if he was involved with the murdering someone, he was the one who pulled the trigger. He would have, or he had some role to play in it, but he didn't pull the trigger. Like Chuck killed himself, but I mean, like, Jimmy maybe played a little bit of a factor in that, especially with the whole insurance thing, and which I do think we will see more of that in season 6. But overall, I think that's any last thoughts on Better Call Saul? Like, like any final predictions that come to your head now before we?
Well, all I want to say is I'm just really excited to see how the bridge between both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul get built. I'm also intrigued to see how they end up, because Better Call Saul season 5 was set in 2004 and Breaking Bad starts in 2008. So
so they got a lot of years.
We got 4 more years left. So I'm really intrigued to see how they cram those 4 years into the last season of the show as well.
Exactly. Well, then we got 13 episodes this season instead of 10. We normally get 10, but now we got 13. So there's lots they can do with it. And
we could get a whole episode, a Gene episode that's entirely in the Gene timeline, I think.
Exactly. Like some people say, maybe that'll be the second last episode. Maybe that'll be the series finale. It's kind of hard to say, but it was Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan said that Better Call Saul season 6 is going to cause us to look at Breaking Bad in a different light. That's how good the ending is, they say.
We could even get like a scene set during Breaking Bad, just like we got in season 4.
Yeah, that's right, with him in the office. Yeah.
Yeah, they could bring Walt back, like Bryan Cranston.
I forgot. I completely forgot. So Speaking of let's do that prediction real quick. Walt and Jesse on a scale, let's do percentages. What are the what are the chances we see them in season 6 or before Better Call Saul ends?
I don't think we're gonna see Jesse come back in a scene set during the Breaking Bad timeline, because almost every character in Better Call Saul has been affected by Walter White's legacy as Heisenberg. So it would just make sense to bring Walt back just for at least one scene. Like,
Even
I feel
like
like you
if they
could
just
bring-
bump into each other at a gas station or something like that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, it's tricky. Well, I mean, like, if you'd asked me like 3 seasons ago, I would have said I didn't want to see them just because Better Call Saul's so good on its own. Which is funny because fun fact, did you know in the season, I think it was season 2 finale, when Chuck's in the hospital after he collapses, they were gonna bring Marie back. They were gonna bring Betsy Brandt back for that scene. But Vince Gilligan chose not to because it was he wanted to focus on Jimmy and Chuck's, the brotherly relationship. He didn't want it to be taken away by having a Breaking Bad character there. But I mean, like, if this is the last season, you know what I mean, and this could be the last time we ever see these characters, because I don't think they plan on doing anything else in the Breaking Bad universe after this, as far as I know. You know what I mean? There's no El Camino 2 or anything like that. But
oh no.
So I'd say if I had to do percentages, 100% being likely, 0% being unlikely, I give it a 60. I give it a 60%. Maybe I think it's possible, even just a cameo. If he's in it, I don't think he's going to be like a big character. I think he just might bump into Saul in a grocery store or something like that.
With the, just with the fact that this whole Breaking Bad universe has been about Walt, and the fact that most of the characters in Better Call Saul eventually go into the places that they are now because of Walt, I just feel like it would make sense to have him there, like just for one scene,
just to come full circle. You know what I mean? Like,
just to bring everything full circle. Yeah,
no, definitely. But so those are our predictions for season 6 of Better Call Saul. Here, how about this? We'll make plans right now. After season 6 airs, we'll have you back on, and we'll see how right we were in these predictions.
Oh yeah, that would be
we'll even go back and we'll see, how we did and play clips and stuff like that. I mean, who knows? I mean, like, this is Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould. They're two of the best. Yeah. They're the best in the business, I think. Vince Gilligan, I think, is the best.
Fantastic writers. They tend to either exceed our expectations or subvert them, and they do it in the most awesome way possible.
No, exactly. So that's why, I mean, like, we hell, all these predictions could be wrong. Like, we could probably be way off with these predictions, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, let's see where it goes. And so Better Call Saul season 6, 2022 sometime. At the time of this recording, we don't have a date yet, but who knows, by the time this releases, we might get one. Hell, they probably just put it up right now for all I know. That'll do it for this episode here. So for all of you Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul fans, feel free to leave your predictions or your thoughts on the series ending. That'll be the show today. So I just want to thank my guest, Kieran Crocker. Any final words you want to say before we sign off?
Any final words? Well, I just want to say, just keep doing the things that you guys are good at doing, but remember to keep wearing masks and washing your hands out there, because these COVID cases are out of control. We're in the red zone right now. I don't want to go back to the red zone ever again after this. So please just take care of yourselves and look out for any more cases or whatever.
Well said, because one reason I don't want to stay in the red is because, well, as you guys saw tonight, the show too. But with this podcast here, doing this virtually tonight, there were so many connection issues.
Yeah, exactly.
Something up with it, you know what I mean? Like,
it'd be a lot easier if we got to be in a room with microphones and all that shit. It'd be a lot easier. But
no, exactly. But I mean, like, hey, this is better than nothing, I guess. But I guess once
the 2020s decade is the time of Zoom chatting.
literally. That's literally it. Yeah. And let's hope after, I can't wait till 2030 now, because who knows what that's going to be. I'm kind of interested to see what that's going to look like now. We'll see how it goes. But thank you very much, guys, for joining us. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Our guest will be my dear friend, Olin Dupuy. And we are going to be discussing the concept of virtual theater. And we'll also be giving our thoughts on the whole Alec Baldwin Rust situation, and as to whether or not the film should continue production or if they should just scrap it and call it a day. We'll talk more about that next week. And in the meantime, this is Franky Corcoran and
Kieran Crocker
signing off. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe.
All right. See you later, Frankie.